Good morning, YouTube. Today, I want to talk about why you need to adjust your attitude about supercar ownership.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, this is Adam, and this is my garage. And like I said, we're going to be talking about your attitude and supercar ownership. And I got to be really careful here. I know that's going to be like, everyone's already pissed off. What do you mean I need to adjust my attitude? Well, hold on. Don't go off the deep end yet. We're going to explain why, and it's actually, well, potentially a good thing, and it might help your mental health. And I'm going to explain why, okay? I have a bunch of theories on this. So anyway, before we get into it, if you want to support the channel, please go visit normalguyssupercar.com. We do appreciate when you guys do that. You can buy parts and services for all sorts of supercars and even non-supercars. We have stuff like exhaust suspensions and even dash cams and fire extinguishers and these lights and these floors. So all sorts of cool stuff. Use the code NGS10, it takes off 10%. And if you find that there's something that's not on the website, we could probably get it for you. Just email us sales@normalguyssupercar.com and we can still hook you up with that 10% off. Oh, hello, Mo. Yeah, we're gonna piss off some people today talking about their attitudes. You okay with that? Yeah, you're pretty chill. Yeah, you've got the right attitude. That's the right attitude. Just kind of chill. All right. Okay, YouTube, I know. Hold on. Don't jump off the cliff yet. We're not trying to piss off everyone. Well, some of the people. I know. What do you mean I need to adjust my attitude? Here's the thing. As you can imagine, having a channel that's about working on supercars and owning them and all sorts of stuff, we get a lot of feedback. Some of it's pretty good. Actually, a lot of it's pretty good. But, we get a lot of negative feedback too. And something that's come up quite a few times recently, and it kind of inspired this video, is people were criticizing how I perceive my ownership of this car and how I work on this car and just basically my attitude about this car. And I gotta explain a few things about my personal history and why that defines how I perceive cars today and how I perceive my hobby today. So first of all, to be clear, this is a car, this is a thing, this is a hobby. It is not a required car. This is not a point A to point B car. It is something I do for passion and because I love it, and I want to do things with the car. I want to work on it. I want to have fun with it. That is the goal of this, right? Experiences with the car is the goal. Okay, now we got that out of the way. You have to remember, I am from the software startup world, and that's the big thing, startup world, okay? Software people are kind of a strange breed, and I am no different. I am definitely not a normal person in that respect. But here's the thing, having been in the software startup world for over 20 years, there is a mantra that is extremely important to the success of startups, and it's pretty much defined how I operate on a daily basis for most things. And that is, done is better than perfect. Perfection is the enemy of done. And another way to say it is, f it, ship it. So that is actually a really common phrase in the startup world. And what that basically means is when you spend the time and energy to perfect something, it takes away the ability to get something out the door and done in a reasonable amount of time. A lot of you have heard of the 80-20 rule, basically saying that, well, to complete 80% of the thing takes 20% of the work, and that last 20% takes 80% of the work. And that is extremely true across many, many things, especially software. It's extraordinarily true with the software world. And I actually kind of apply that to how I run my businesses and how I operate working on my car. And what that means is I get a lot of crap about people saying, oh, why didn't you do this? Oh, you should have taken the time to do something or whatever. Like, we got criticized about all sorts of stuff, and I'm not trying to call anyone out. It's not even that I'm upset that people call us out about these things, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm just using you as examples because they're fresh in my brain. But we got called out about using RTV sealant on a gasket because they said, oh, it's going to look bad. You cannot see where that RTV sealant is. It literally is impossible to see it. So the benefits of using the RTV far exceeded the benefits of not using it. And they said, well, you should have used some other product. I think it was some 3M stuff. And that's fine except for one thing. It was already done. Giving us advice after the fact is not helpful to me. And then when I say, well, it's already done, and they get mad that I haven't been able to take their advice, well, I'm sorry, you offered us unsolicited advice after something was already done. I'm not going to go take apart the entire engine again, pull off the valve covers, just scrape it off, and put your product on there instead. Another example was someone said we should have covered the valve cover gaskets, or the valve covers.
Yeah.
We should have covered them when putting them in because they could get scratched. They didn't.
And I actually thought about this beforehand,
we-
but I ended up not saying anything because it's crinkle paint or crinkle coat, whatever you want to call it.
Nothing sticks to it.
Not going to stick to it. It would have just gotten in the way, and
It would have made it a lot more difficult. They're in a position where you can't really see it, and they're powder coated. Powder coating is really tough. I mean, you would have to really scratch it in order to actually make it visibly scratched. So that's the thing. I'm going to call that part of the 80-20 rule. Like the effort to bag it up or cover it or somehow prevent it from getting scratched, which was, in my opinion, reasonably low risk, reasonably low, was not worth it because it would take us a lot of extra time. We wouldn't have been able to get those valve covers done probably in that same day, and it would have been frustrating. And at that point, I just wanted it done, and that was the thing.
it's a risk-reward thing too.
Yeah.
You'll notice in the video for the intake manifolds how much more careful we were with those because
they were
it's
visible.
dead center in the middle
Right.
of the engine bay.
We took a lot of time on that because we knew those were highly visible,
Yeah.
and we didn't want to scratch those.
So it's the risk-reward thing.
Right. Another thing that we get crap for is people are like, why don't you put fender covers on your car? This entire car is PPF'd. The entire car right here is PPF'd. On the fenders is PPF. That means I would have to damage through the PPF to actually damage the paint. Probably not going to happen. And if you didn't know, this is that cool expel stuff where you can literally heat it up and it like re-seals and hides any of the scratches. So it's really pretty low risk to not have to worry about fender covers. And I also intentionally wear a monkey suit that has no exposed zippers and nothing sharp.
And that's part of why I was wearing the shorts and shirt that I was in the video, because I saw a couple of y'all were complaining about how I looked on the video. I didn't look professional. Look at me now.
All I'm trying to say is, look, I get it. People want perfection. That is a lot of people's goals. And you know what? If that's you and that's what you want, there are resources available to you. That is not how I operate, and that's not how I'm going to operate. I am not trying to achieve perfection because trying to chase perfection is impossible. And all it does is waste time.
And going back to the RTV thing, using RTV is not a shortcut. If you don't know, I come from the aviation world where perfection is required or people die, and we used RTV all the time. In fact, a lot of times the tech data, which is basically the instruction manual, required that you use it at a certain place. So RTV is not inherently bad.
Well, and ironically, there was RTV from the factory.
Yeah, there was.
It's just,
I
it was
don't think
white.
we showed that, but
it was white. There
At
was a
least now
different
it's red. It blends in more.
yeah, right? Oh, look, you got a little RTV in the...
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to say is, look, if you want perfection, that's fine. That's your goals. That is not how I operate. That's not how I'm going to operate this channel. That's not how I'm going to operate my DIY stuff. It is never going to be perfect. That's the whole point of this thing is we are regular old dudes. I am not a technician. I am a software nerd. I'm a software startup nerd. So it is built in. It's like you're not going to undo 20 years of that in my brain about how to operate. It's trying to get things done now. And there's all sorts of rewards and cost benefits and whatever because we're trying to operate this as a business. So just take that all with a grain of salt. Realize this is a thing. It's okay if it gets a scratch. It's okay if it gets some insignificant flaws that might be something that maybe only I notice and things like that. It's going to happen naturally as I drive it and it goes down the road and gets rock chips and whatever. Even with the PPF, it's going to get rock chips. I mean, I've got pits in the windshield. I've already got two cracks that were filled. It's not a perfect car. It never will be perfect. That's part of why I bought one of the cheapest cars on the market to intentionally not have it be perfect because I don't want to screw up a perfect car. I don't chase the perfect cars because that I know myself, and I know I'll probably make them far from perfect and hurt the value of them more than necessary. So anyway, all I'm trying to say is scale your expectations to your own self and maybe just think about if you wanted it to be done perfectly, this is how you could do it, but don't necessarily demand those things upon us. That's not how I'm necessarily going to operate.
And you have to remember, that wasn't anything super critical. Like, if we're bleeding brakes or changing brakes or pads, yeah, we're going to be a lot more detail oriented.
Well, you
on
want
this
to,
thing. Yeah.
like, it's a safety thing. It needs
Yeah.
to work. But again, that's done over perfection, right?
Yeah.
Done and functional is a different thing than when things look pretty and whatever.
So, it's a car, not an airplane.
Moses, hey, did you, are you perfect, dog? No. Are you perfect? No. You're a good boy, though. Yeah.
Because my dogs are better.
Oh, that's a load of crap. All right, well, I'm sure that upset some of you, and hopefully put some light into why it is the way that we are and how we operate. And understand it. Like, I'm not trying to say that, like, if you want perfection that you can't achieve it. I'm just trying to say that that's probably not something I can do very well. Like, for me to try and strive for perfection is just against my like being. It's just not necessary. It's not required. I'm not trying to say that I'm gonna like shortcut things and make it crap. I'm just saying I'm gonna do things that make it get done fast. If you want to support the channel, please go visit normalguyssupercar.com. We do appreciate when you guys do that. We'll even hook you up with the imperfect 10% off by using the code NGS10.
It's so imperfect.
Yes.
We're gonna give it at 9%, just because.
Sometimes 11. No.
No.
Go lower. Also, please subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up. We do appreciate when you guys do that. That does help out this channel grow. Tremendous thank you to all of you. And don't forget, once we get to 75,000 subscribers, we are going to give away one of those Ferrari clocks. Yes, we still have that going on. It's just taking a while for us to get to 75,000. So help us get there as soon as we can, and one of you is going to win that. We have some other cool stuff coming up, so believe me, we're going to be doing a lot of car stuff, so you're going to want to stay tuned.
It will be sweet.
Damn straight.